Okay, we are live.
Discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called Wonderduck.
What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze now that I got my fix for Wonderduck? But go ahead.
in the House of Craze tonight, we have a very special guest, Mr. Tim Watts. Will be on the show. He's going to be talking about his Kickstarter that is live right now called The Republic. That's coming up next.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are live once again. It is Tuesday. It's Wednesday, March 9th. You know what happened on March 9th? A few years back, the greatest rapper of all time, supposedly, I don't know how you feel about this, but the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. Biggie. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls.
Oh, yeah, that's all. That's you can go for that's your opinion. Have you handle you this?
Well, anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode, guys. Thank you for joining us. We have another guest tonight. We're going to be talking to him about his Kickstarter. We're definitely going to have him back on the show because Tim Watts looks like he has an incredible book. And let me tell you something. The 45 minutes we're going to give him tonight is probably not going to be enough time to talk about everything he's done in his career, but we're going to try. So we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk about his project called The Republic, which is live right now on Kickstarter. In the chat, you'll see the link. Click on that. Make sure you pledge to that today. And we are going to be talking about, just the stuff that we have going on, duty just ended. But before we do all that, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment. We are live today. So if you have any questions, chat, it's open, ask your questions. But also hit that remind me, or what is it called? The bell.
Ring the bell, baby. Ding, ding, ding.
Anyway, hit that thing. It's a reminder that we are going live. So hit that thing. But anyway, what's going on, Sammy? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. We wrapped up last night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes,
it's crazy. It was a milestone for us. We had 86 backers. So, that was pretty dope.
Yeah,
right? That was awesome. So tomorrow I'm sending getting the proofs, sending out for the proofs, and so this way by the time Kickstarter sends me the money by the 23rd, it's about 2 weeks, I should have the proofs back approved. Hopefully everything's there's no problem with it, and then I can send it to ship to print, and that should take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. And that's me being generous. Who knows, because I had problems during the holiday season with the printers. Yes. Hopefully they've dealt with those issues, and we won't have those issues. So my goal is still to get it to everybody by April. So at this point, it'll look like mid to late April.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, hey, listen, it's gonna. I think it's gonna be. Hopefully, I mean, like you said, with everything, as far as the printing, hopefully everything goes smooth, and then you'll get it before that. You also have all the swag that you got to print out, the
Yeah, the
stickers,
and
the
I think-
coloring book,
the guidebook.
Woo, the guidebook.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Jeez,
You know,
Jeez.
yeah, we didn't unlock any of the stretch goals
Yes.
because they were aggressive stretch goals. So we didn't unlock any of them, you know, and I did that for a reason because there was already enough swag as it is, enough add-ons that's going
There's
to
a lot. There's
keep
a
me
lot.
busy sending to the manufacturers. But what's up, Johnny boy?
Another kid has arrived.
Johnny Syfax. What's going on, Johnny? Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us. You're gonna love this book when we show it to you, the Kickstarter that's going on right now.
Oh no. Johnny boy. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I was working on I feel I had everything ready. Except for the credits page. So I fixed that up and I did a feature with Rodney Fike because he did that amazing piece of duty. So I wanted to make sure I featured him in the book. And yeah, that's about it. And we had another subscriber to the channel. Can't tell who it is because they keep their accounts private. So but thank you, whoever you are. You masked marauder.
Awesome. Yes.
But
the road.
Things are moving along smoothly.
Cool. Yeah. Now we're on the road to 1,000. So that's awesome that we have another subscriber to the channel. Just it helps spread the word. Make sure you're sharing it out to everybody so that everybody knows that Catch the Craze is around. But I'm also excited because my Kickstarter campaign for the Adventures of Wonderduck launches in a couple of months.
Yes.
That'll be in May the 4th.
May 4th. Yes.
Yes. So that's going to happen. But right now, the pre-launch page, the notify me page is up.
It's up.
So, yes. So for those who don't know, okay, if you've signed up to the page already and you're like, George, I already signed up, man. All right, cool. You signed up. What you need to do now is let me know that you signed up by sending me a message. You can go to the Adventures of Wonderduck. It's right there on the screen. Send me a message. Send me your email address. Let me know, hey, I signed up, so that I can send you a PDF of this bad boy right here. This print right here. This print is
very nice.
It's going to be emailed to you in the form of a PDF. Now,
who colored that?
To you as a
PDF?
Big Cat? Big Cat Studios. Yeah,
nice.
9 Lives now.
Yeah, very nice.
The name. Yeah, no, they're money. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and send you that as a PDF and your email address, whatever. When the campaign goes live on May 4th, if you have pledged to my campaign as a backer who was following it, I will know because I have your email address, I have your name, I know who you are. And then I will send you a physical copy. So this print will be sent to you with your package, all physical copies on all physical.
So he makes me look bad.
And then you can have that in your bag. Hey, listen, I'm doing this for the people because you guys have been very supportive.
The world, make this a better place.
Yes, I have more stuff. We have more stuff that we're going to be doing as the shows go on and as time comes along. I have more surprises for you. If you want to get fancy, you can do this with it. You know what I'm saying? It looks nice.
Look at that.
It looks nice. You can hang it up.
Look at that.
If you want to get fancy with it, I mean, you don't get it like that from me, but you can do that for yourself. So this is going to be going out. So make sure that you follow the page and let me know you're following it so that I can then start giving you this extra swag. Now, these prints are exclusive for you guys only, for the people who subscribe prior to the campaign going live.
Lies. He was at the Bronx Zoo giving them out. I'm just saying, all lies.
This is not going to go to anybody else. Once the campaign goes live, this goes away. This goes away. So make sure you follow it. And thank you so much for those that have already followed it. I think I have about 60 something people in there, but I only know half of you. So the other half, where you at? Let me know so that I can send you that stuff. And yes, that's what's going on with the Adventures of Wonderduck. You heard the music at the beginning. Big shout out to Morgan Quaid, who did that theme song for me. Yeah, he's got a campaign right now as well on Kickstarter. So make sure you hit that. I think it's called, I always forget it, man. It's called The Daughters something. Hang on, I'm going to tell you right now. It is called
Daughters General? Oh, The General's Daughter. Remember that movie?
Yeah. It's called Shadow's Daughter. Shadow's Daughter. Yes, it's a manga comic.
General's Daughter. Was that with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta?
What?
Which one was it? It was one of those two guys in it.
Yeah. The General. Let me see. I'll tell you right now. What else you got going on though, Sammy? Besides that, we got down the pike. We're gonna have a few things going on. It was John Travolta. John Travolta.
Yes, I knew it.
Yeah. We're gonna have a few more things coming down the pike for everybody. You know, after all the campaigns, we're starting to build a little schedule because we weren't sure what we were gonna do at the time. But now that with the success of There's an Alien in My Toilet, with Wonderduck coming out,
and you got 2 more signups since 2 days ago. You were at 62. You at 64 now.
Oh, damn. See, that's what I need to know who's signing up. So, guys, let me know who's signing up.
They don't want to give you the names. They're like, oh, no. That's going to report me to the IRS. It's like, hell no.
I want to give you stuff. Yeah,
that's what the guy with the trench coat on the block said. Oh, hell no.
Hey, man. What did Johnny say? You just be flashing that on the screen real quick. Quack, quack. It's Wonderduck. Oh, it's freaking great. Yes. But yeah, no, we're having fun, man. We're having a good time.
Yes. So, but remember, Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have episode number 4 of our newest segment called The Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew. Yes. And last week we had a surprise longtime listener who basically identified themselves for the first time in the live chat, and we brought him onto the show, and he was a wealth of knowledge. So, based on the topics that we cover, I think, what was it that we're doing tomorrow? We're
going to be doing the need for a proof. How important?
Yes. Why is it important now more than ever to have a physical proof rather than a digital proof?
A proof of your comic book, not ID. A proof of your comic book.
I want your fingerprints, your retina scans, DNA, the whole bit. But so we're going to be talking about that and some other things. I watched an episode of Joe Rogan with Mr. Beast, which is the most successful YouTuber on planet Earth. What's up, Michael?
Another person has arrived.
Look at that.
Oh, welcome, Michael, to the show. Yeah, so I'm gonna just highlight some of the things I heard during Mr. Beast's conversation with Joe Rogan. I think was fantastic to understand his thought process behind how he created that machine that is a global empire right now. So that was pretty fantastic.
So the idea for tomorrow, Sammy, is that we are going to put the link to join us on this show for the first time. We're going to put the link up there. Okay, listen. Don't come out here with no pants on. Don't come out here talking.
Don't come with no pants on.
Don't come over here. It's early in the morning, bro. I don't know. Some people sleep naked, bro. I don't know what we're going to get at 9 o'clock in the morning. But don't bring it. Do not bring that, because we will just
don't bring the noise.
Don't bring it. Don't bring it. But we are going to give you the chance. If you have a question, you have a comment that you want to, we'll give you 30 seconds to say what you have to say, and then we'll let you go. But so we're going to incorporate that, a little crowd participation into the show tomorrow. So remember, the topic is going to be, what the importance of having a proof. So for those of our buddies who are out there who also print comics and do that kind of stuff, if you want to come in and let us know what your experience has been and why that's important, or why you don't think it's important, let us know. Come in. We're gonna put the link in the chat.
We're gonna play dangerous. We're playing dangerous.
We're gonna just roll the dice and see what happens.
So we'll probably see Mookie. I was like, no way. We're like 2 teeth. He's like, scratching.
Right? If I give you you don't play games. Don't play games. If there's somebody coming after me, I'm gonna have to run. But that's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 8 a.m. Central.
8 a.m. for me, 9 a.m. for George.
6 a.m. if you're in the West Coast. If you're West Coasting it and you're 6 o'clock in the morning and you're up, don't know what else to do, join us on the Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fun. And also for everybody who supported There's an Alien in My Toilet, June will be the launch of issue number 2 for There's an Alien in My Toilet. It's going to be fantastic. So April, everyone will get their rewards. May, George launches Wonderduck. June, I launch issue number 2 for There's an Alien in My Toilet. So it's just going to be very seamless on how we move this ship along. So with that said, I think that we're going to run to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to bring in Tim Watts, and we're going to talk about this fantastic Kickstarter and everything that comes along with it. But if you have a campaign you want to promote and you find that you have plenty of time and you want to get the word out, here's a way to do it.
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out How do you get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back, but in the meantime, how do you spread the word? You worked for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
Welcome, Tim Watt, to Catch the Craze podcast.
Hey guys, great to be here.
What's going on, Tim? How are you, man? Everything good?
I'm doing great. Like I said before we went live here, I'm happy because I got one new sponsor.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Oh man, listen, the campaign looks great. Everything about the interior art. I like that the balloons are filled with words. You're getting your money's worth when you're reading this book.
And that was me cutting back.
Oh,
he's like, damn the artists.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, no, we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. But before we get to that, Tim, just tell the audience, everybody who's watching, who is Tim Watts?
Yeah, so I'm actually, let's see, best way to put it is I've been an artist pretty much my whole life and have recently branched out into doing some writing. And as far as, this book is a post-apocalyptic book, which is something I've been into my whole life. Goes back to, seeing Road Warrior back in the 80s when I was a kid. And about the same time, most people try out when they try out like role-playing games and everyone does D&D. And for me, it was a different game, still TSR put out, but they put out a game called Gamma World a few years after Dungeons and Dragons, and that was their post-apocalyptic role-playing game. So those two hit me about the same time, Road Warrior and that. So I thought, this stuff's really cool. So I've always been a fan. Then fast forward a few years back, I actually co-hosted a podcast with a buddy of mine where we talked about post-apocalyptic TV shows, movies, did over 100 episodes of that.
Wow. So
critiquing all that content kind of gave me the idea of maybe I had a story to add to that. Mm-hmm. And so the germ of the idea, I don't know if you guys are basketball fans or not.
Oh, I love basketball. That's my favorite sport.
I'm in Sacramento, so I call myself a long-suffering Kings fan.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I don't even go there.
We can talk about that oh God.
It hurts too much. But anyway, back when a few years back, they built a new arena downtown. And what they always do is they put out the artist concept sketch of what the building is going to look like. And it's a pretty unique looking building. Yeah. And me being me and being a post-apocalyptic fan, I thought, what would that look like after the apocalypse? Because it's a cool building. Like, what if one side was ripped out and the roof was gone or something like that? Oh, cool. And then I started thinking about other spots around town, and then I started thinking, how can I tie this together to a story? So that's the beginning of it, because the story takes place in Sacramento, just 200 years after the apocalypse.
Oh wow!
Wow. So yeah, it's my lifelong appeal to or love of apocalyptic entertainment, that kind of got me going down that road. And the thing I love about it is I like seeing different people tell stories about how do people react when you take away civilization. Yeah. When you don't have your little security blanket of electricity and the internet and all that stuff, how do people react? Yeah. Because a lot of times you can put it into roughly 3 different categories. World ends and you have the people that immediately try to rebuild it because they want to get back what they lost. Then you got the people that think that, okay, the world gave us a reset button. It's a clean slate. We can make something better. Mm-hmm. And then you have the people that really just can't cope with what happened. They just kind of lean into the chaos. And then you get Road Warrior and Mad Max and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that.
It's all right. But so yeah, that when you were speaking about the podcast and your affinity for the post-apocalyptic world, a question popped into my mind. And I have this question with buddies of mine, other writers and creators, originality, right? When you've consumed 100 episodes of just discussing the apocalyptic worlds that you've dove into, how hard now is it to come up with an original concept or something that hasn't been done already? Is it easier because now you've seen so many things that you're like, oh, okay, I won't do that? Or is it harder because shit, everything's been freaking done? Like, how do you cope with that?
It is hard because if you boil stories down, any story, not just post-apocalyptic, there's certain things that are almost universal. There's certain tropes, there's certain, stereotypes that people expect from that, like, again, Road Warrior, there's a certain visual aesthetic that says this is apocalyptic. I've spent hundreds of hours playing the Fallout games, and that has a specific look to it. So yeah, there were some things that I intentionally tried to avoid because it's just done too much. And like, for example, my story the setting is quote unquote a real world. There's not zombies, there's not mutants, there's not all that stuff. Because for me, what drew me in and made me want to tell the story is, like I said, is examining human nature and how people react to things. One of the themes in the book are the things that we now here today in a modern world consider immoral, are they immoral after the end of the world? If I'm standing here with my family and they're starving and you got food, is it still immoral for me to kill you and take your food to feed my family? Right. If there is no civilization that exists, so that's kind of stuff that is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't need, all the zombies and monsters and things like that to tell that story.
Yeah, because it's a human nature story at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It becomes a story of human nature. What would this human being do if this was going on?
Right.
And as long as your characters are different and interesting, I think that's what happened with The Walking Dead, right? That The Walking Dead book. I'm not a big zombie guy. I don't dig zombie books. But when I read that book, I was like, wow, this is beyond just a zombie book. It's about what would this person do in this scenario.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure people might draw parallels to that because, anytime you tell an intimate personal story and you put it in the apocalypse, people are going to think Walking Dead because that's the big dog. That's what everyone thinks of. But the thing is that you can still tell. I mean, one of my favorite post-apocalyptic movies ever is Book of Eli with Denzel Washington.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's a fantastic, and that aesthetic, the visuals and all that, that's like my ideal post-apocalyptic setting.
Yeah.
And it's like a real world, there's nothing, it's just people, but it's super compelling. Either that, and I don't know if you guys ever saw The Road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is a brutal movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you read the book that it's based on, but I read that book and it's a phenomenal book. And I always joke around and said, yeah, that was a great book. When I got done, I wanted to stick my head in the oven because it's so depressing.
Yeah.
But they did it so well. And I give them credit. They didn't wimp out and Hollywood up the ending of the movie. They stayed with it and they kept it dark.
Yeah. And
that's the kind of stuff that I like. But also I like the big epic stuff. So I always joke around that my book is kind of like Walking Dead meets Game of Thrones, but it's post-apocalypse.
Yeah, I got
because there is bigger stuff going on. It's not just those individual stories.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the Book of Eli because I think that's a very underrated story. And I think people don't like a very underrated movie, I should say. And I think it's because we're prisoners of the moment, right? What's hot right now. Yeah. That's the big thing. It's like you said, The Walking Dead. But that story has been told so many other times. That's the story that's hot now kind of thing. Yeah. But no, I love it, man. Like I was telling Sam and I was telling you, when I saw, obviously, hey, listen, having Kevin Smith on there doesn't hurt. But when I saw that, I was like, that's incredible. So tell us that story about how you met Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that was fun. A couple of years ago, he came through town touring his last Jay and Silent Bob movie. And so he was doing like a live thing where he would do Q&As and stuff, and he would introduce the film and stuff. And part of the deal, if you bought the right ticket, was there was a meet and greet with him. So my whole thing was I went down there and I took the part of the book that was done so far, and I was going to show it to him and just say, hey, thanks, because he's, always big on, if you want to make something, make something. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, you can. And he's really big on doing that for people. So I just want to say, hey, thanks for the motivation. Here's the thing I made. And that was it. So I got down, met him, really cool guy, talked to him, showed him the book and everything. And then he looks at me and he says, how can I help? It's one of those moments where I'm like, excuse me, what? And he's all, how can I help? So, back and forth, and, agreed that he would record a little video encouraging people to support the book. Wow. And so that is, cut in, as you saw, that's cut into the pitch video for the Kickstarter. And yeah, it was really cool getting him to do that.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Yeah, when I saw that, the first thing I said, like, you need to ask Kevin what's going on with the Sam and Twitch made for TV show that he was supposed to do. That's like whatever happened to that. But no, that's pretty fantastic. I love the world building just by looking at your art. I mean, there's just so much going on in there.
I have to give a shout out because originally I was going to write and draw it myself. And then I drew like a couple pages and I realized two things. I wasn't fast enough and I wasn't good enough. So I loved the story so much that I wanted it to be better than I could do it. So I decided I needed to reach out, and through wonders of the internet, I found an amazing artist in Italy. And she did a fantastic job. I stayed on, I inked the book because I wanted to keep my foot in the art because that's my first love. But her name is Alessandra Imperio, and she did an absolutely phenomenal job on the book.
Oh, it's beautiful.
No, it is beautiful. How hard is that, Tim? How hard is it to go from artist to writer and then stepping away from the art to just, I'm not saying just, but it's not just being a writer because writing is tough.
Right.
How hard was that for you?
Well, it wasn't that hard because a lot of people get very precious about it. It has to be my vision. It has to be me. But I also, was objective. I looked at it and said, okay, I see my product. I don't like my product. I got to be honest. And like I said, I loved the story enough that I wanted it to be better. And I wanted it to be as good as it could be. And if that means me not penciling it, then okay, I don't pencil it. And I couldn't be happier. I am so happy that I did what I did because the book looks amazing. And if I tried to do it all myself, it still wouldn't be done. So that made it an easy decision. Right.
So I want your thought process on the idea for the cover. Where did it come from? Whose idea was it? Because it's a wonderful piece.
Yeah, that is, and I have one of the books here as we're talking. That interesting story about that because originally I was going to do this story as a 4-issue miniseries, and my goal was to send it out to some publishers and do the conventional diamond distribution comic shop network route, and then the world blew up and caught on fire.
Yeah.
And once people started recovering, I knew that comic shops are going to be hesitant about putting money out on somebody that doesn't have a track record or name recognition because their money's tight because they just came out of a pandemic, if they even survived.
Right.
So I realized that people were, doing pretty well with Kickstarter. So I thought, okay, I'll do Kickstarter instead. And then I thought, well, rather than doing 4 different campaigns, I'm just going to put it together and make it a graphic novel with 4 chapters. So when I talked to my penciler about it, she had already done covers for the individual issues, but she's more of a fan of doing the interior. She likes the page layouts and all that stuff. And she said, if it's okay, maybe I'll take a pass on doing the graphic novel cover. So I reached out to a guy that I got to know from going down to San Diego for Comic-Con for years and years and years, a guy named Chuck Wojciechowicz that used to draw Justice League back in the 90s. Reached out to him and said, hey, you want to pencil the cover for me? And he said, sure. He did some thumbnails. We had some back and forth, in thematically of what worked and what didn't. And then he finally came up with that. And I said, that's the one, go with it. And yeah, it's gorgeous. And it was such a blast to ink over him. And funny story about Chuck, he used to work for Blur Studios, which is Tim Miller's studio. That was the studio that did the Deadpool footage that Ryan Reynolds leaked to the public to get the movie done. That was Blur Studios. And that was all going on when Chuck was working there.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's
he's a great guy.
That's really, and who's doing the coloring now? You did the
coloring is a guy in Texas that I found named Michael Woods, who has done fantastic stuff. And I don't want to give anything away, but he made some color suggestions that actually added and enhanced the emotional impact of some scenes in the movie. That I'll be perfectly honest. If someone says, "Oh, that was really cool, great writing," I'm like, you know what? That's cool because Mike decided, hey, what if I color it like this? And what if I do that? And I'm like, oh, dude, that'll make it way better. Go ahead. Awesome. So I am the first person to say that this book would be nowhere near what it is without the people that I work with.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And something that I mentioned, sorry to jump in, that you saw in the video is, I spent the last 3 years scrimping and saving because the people that work with me, they've all been paid for their work because it's not right for them to work for free for me to do my dream and them hope to get paid. Right. So, I wanted to make a point of that. And what I'm trying to do now is, make back the money and hopefully be in a position to get working on a sequel that I've been outlining.
Good for you.
Outstanding.
Good for you. Yeah.
I'm gonna transition on to your campaign.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna play the trailer first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that opening first.
And I can tell you a couple things about that. That was fun.
Hi, I'm Tim Watts, and the first thing I want to do is say thank you for stopping by and checking out the Kickstarter for my original graphic novel, The Republic. For most of my life, there's two things that I've really loved: comics and the apocalypse. Now, I know it sounds kind of weird for someone to say that they love the end of the world, but trust me, in this case, it does make sense. But before I explain how my love of all things post-apocalyptic applies to the Republic, I have somebody that would like to say a few words first.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. I met Tim Watts at the Sacramento stop of the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow tour, man. And he showed me his amazing post-apocalyptic comic called The Republic. Please help donate to his Kickstarter to get the comic printed and distributed, man. Throw a few bucks in a creative's bucket, man. Give to Tim Watts so he can make The Republic a reality that you could hold in your hands. Tim Watts!
So, give me a chance to meet Kevin Smith and to tell him about the book. I really appreciate his support. I like to think of the book as kind of a post-apocalyptic Game of Thrones, but with hopefully a more satisfying ending. It's set with real people trying to survive, and that's what drew me to the genre. You know, the idea of what do people do when the safety net of civilization has been taken away from them. And it's what motivated me to tell the story. Now, before you go and take a look at the amazing sample pages and rewards that we have for you, there are two things I want to make sure that you're aware of. First is, I never could have created this book on my own. I'm very lucky to have been partnered with some fantastic artists that you'll read about below. Also, all of them have been paid for their time, because it's important for me that no one work for free in order for me to realize my dream. But now I'm coming to you for a little bit of help to get us across the finish line. Your support is going to allow us to get the book printed and shipped out to the public. And if we do well enough, any additional funds will go towards producing a sequel that I'm currently working on. The second thing I want you to know is that the book is completely done. I had a small number of sample copies printed up, so you can see that the only thing left to do is to tell the printer how many copies to print. So I hope that you like what you've seen here and that you decide to back the project. I'm incredibly proud of it, and I look forward to sharing it with you and everyone. So thanks very much.
So that's the pitch video. If
Yes.
you want to play the trailer, that's a little bit farther down on the page.
That trailer, man. That trailer. Yeah. But before you play it, Sam, Kevin Smith saying your name just cracks me up, bro. Like
That was hilarious. Oh, also, since you're a basketball fan,
yes,
that's my studio.
Full Court Studios. I love it. I love it.
Well, it started out as Full Court Press.
Okay. Oh, that works.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
That works
And that's been for a while. So that's the basketball love in me.
That's awesome, man. All right, sorry, Sam. Go ahead. Do your thing.
What are you looking at?
An old man, past his prime.
It's appropriate that we rebuild here.
I'm not your general anymore.
Sir, raiders are attacking a merchant ship.
General, the southern tribes are on the move. All of them.
How much of our land do you want?
As much as we need.
You see, this is who they really are.
We're going to have to fight. There's no stopping that now.
No. Let's finish.
And that's when you took my money, Tim. That's what just all right. That's it. I'm going in. I'm going to see. And listen, the thing with the rewards, and we're gonna go into those as well, is that they're reasonable rewards, dude. Like I was expecting this graphic now because I saw it, was like, oh shit, graphic novel, I'm gonna have to come out of pocket. And I'm thinking, you know, 35, maybe $40 for it. It's not. You know, you're looking at about what, 25 for the full book?
25 for the soft cover plus the shipping. And yeah, I went back and forth on that, and it kind of goes, I know that I've seen people, you know, selling, you know, because this book is 118 pages.
Yeah.
And I've seen books that are a lot smaller than that going for, you know, 15, 20, 25 bucks.
Absolutely, man.
And I understand that, but for me, I wanted as many people as possible to pick it up. And also I know that, you know, I don't have a track record, I don't have a name. You know, this is the first graphic novel that I'm putting out, my first Kickstarter. So I wanted to remove as many hurdles to people getting it as possible, which is why I got the book done and I did the sample copies. Because a lot of times you back a book and you go, okay, we got our money, we're going to go off and make the book. And then, you know, you get it in 6, 9, 12 months or, you know, sometimes longer. And for someone who has a track record, that's fine. You know, but somebody that says, you know, I've been doing comics for 20 years and somebody says, okay, if he says I'll have the book in 6 months, I know that I will. People don't know who I am. Right. So it's better for me to say the book's already done. So they go, oh, okay, it's already done. I feel more comfortable giving him my money.
Right.
So that's kind of my thought process, you know, is to do that. And then I'll hit you hard on the next one.
Yeah. The first hit is free. Well, not free, but it's
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go into the tiers, you know, I was definitely captivated by a lot of the action sequences. And even, you know, just the dynamic angles, the camera angles, you know, the leaping off the horse. I mean, all these things that you would see like in cinema, and your artist was able to capture these. How much direction did you provide with your script writing?
Again, perfectly honest, I kind of gave her free reign, because when I looked at her sample pages, that is exactly the things you're mentioning is exactly why I wanted to work with her, because she did great page layouts, you know, interesting panel design and action. It was very fluid and I loved everything that I saw. So knowing that she could do that, the last thing I wanted to do is put guardrails on her and say, I want this exact panel. Right. You know, having been an artist, and that's me coming at it from an artist standpoint, not a writer standpoint. You know, I know there are writers that, you know, like I heard like Alan Moore does stick figure layouts of drawings and he's super meticulous about it needs to be like this.
Right.
And I did kind of, I guess you could call it like a hybrid Marvel method thing, where I would describe what happened on the page, but then I would also include all the dialogue, so she knew about, you know, what I wanted as far as body language and facial expressions and things like that. But I would just do a paragraph or two of here's what happens on this page. And now she would do thumbnails and I'd say, okay, I really want this moment to pop, so make that panel a little bit bigger, and we would tweak it. But, you know, initially I just give her a description, let her do her thing. And 99% of the time I was like, this is better than I had in my head. Go.
You know, it's talking about that, the trailer also, Sam. I was looking at some of the voice acting. It's incredible voice acting, but I also saw Ron Perlman playing the role of the main guy. Like when I saw his face, I was like, oh shoot, it's Ron. The voice acting, you hired some voice actors? Was this you and like some friends got together and say, guys, let's do this?
It's my buddies. And now, funny thing, the female voices you hear, there's 3 different lines that are female voices.
Yeah,
that was all the same woman.
Wow.
But she has professional acting training. She, you know, was down in LA and worked in the industry, so she could do that. The other voices are, like I said, friends of mine. The editing was done by a buddy that used to work in TV as a TV news editor. Cool. So he cut it together, and he and I, you know, he'd come over and we'd hang out and we'd talk about do this, do that, cut this together, move that. And, you know, that was a blast doing that. Yeah. And went and found a music bed and some, you know, sound effects for like the horses and the sword fight and all that. Yeah. And the reason that I did it that way is because I've seen other campaigns where people say, oh, here's the trailer. And it's kind of just a collage of images from the book, which is fine. But when I hear trailer, I think of a movie trailer that tells a story. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a trailer that, like, you're sitting in a movie theater saying, here's what's coming up. and you get an idea, because when you just show a bunch of pictures from the book, it may look great, but it doesn't necessarily tell you what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this trailer tells you what it's about.
Yeah, I was waiting for previously on the Republic. That's what I was waiting for that to start off that way. It was great. It was great.
So tell us what do people get?
So some of the a lot of the standard stuff. I didn't go too crazy with the rewards because, again, first Kickstarter, I wanted to keep it streamlined and simple, and also I wanted to keep it, you know, affordable for everybody. So, you know, obviously there's a digital download. There's the soft cover. Also, the printer that I'm working with is a hardcover. So if you want to do something a little more upscale, you can get a hardcover version of the book. One other thing that we have are art print rewards, because as I mentioned before, originally the book was going to be 4 issues, and my penciler did wraparound covers for all 4 issues. Oh, wow. Well, when we put it together, we ended up not doing that. Like, for example, right now, the one you're showing that says interior art, that was the cover of the first issue. But now what I did is I took the front cover half of that and made it the chapter dividers in the book. But I still wanted people to see the whole art because she did such a great job. So now all 4 of those covers are available as art prints that you can get. So that's one of the rewards. Also, we just unlocked our first stretch goal. Oh, and by the way, I have to brag a little bit. We were fully funded in 2 days.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah.
Wow. Those are the word balloons, Tim. Those are the word balloons I'm talking about. Look at that. That's writing, baby.
And also, going back to what you're talking about, world building. Yes. I had a lot to explain in the first half of the book. There's a lot fewer word balloons in the second half of the book. Okay. It's a lot more action. It's a lot more intense. But in the beginning, I had to explain, you know, this is a brand new world no one stepped into before. I had to explain what it is. So yeah,
I mean, when you look at the pages, I mean, you know, you can see that the story calls for certain things. There are some panels where you're letting the story the story is being told by the behavior, and then when you need to have the narration or to elaborate, you have it. So it doesn't overwhelm you. You still see and appreciate the beautiful art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first reward that we unlocked, we're going to give everybody a bookmark. Since it's a bookmark to be handy. And instead of pulling art from the book for the bookmark, I had the art team, including myself, do original art. So the bookmark is original art just for that item. Mm-hmm. So that's a little something extra. Also, there's an add-on that we have that people can get that is like a mini poster of the cover that you liked so much. It's a virgin cover, no logo, no nothing. It's just that art. It's like a 17 by 22, I think it is, poster. So that's something else you can get. I found a company that makes coasters. So we have some Republic coasters.
Nice.
So you can have a drink while you're reading the book.
That's cool.
You know, so and some of the higher end packages have like a con badge type thing that has has artwork on it. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, and I got very lucky. I have a lot of very good friends. You know, we had the top tier one that you get, you know, a little bit of everything and this and that, and we put the high price tag on it, and that was like gone in 3 days because I'm very lucky to have people that care about me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, listen, very well done. Look at
who designed your Kickstarter page?
That is a woman named Elisa Malone. I think she coordinated me being on here with you guys.
Yeah. She's been on the show before. Yeah, we know.
She has. Okay, yeah, she did a fantastic job because you know, I looked at it and like, okay, yeah, I know people can design these things yourself, but I'm not a graphic designer. I draw stuff, you know, with a pencil, you know, or a stylus. I'm not a graphic design guy. So I knew I needed help, and I reached out to her, and she has done a fantastic job. You know, guiding me and making recommendations of, you know, rewards and tiers and things like that. And yeah, she's been fantastic.
I do have to say that your wraparound prints are fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm so happy with those. Yeah, Alessandra did a fantastic job with those.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful, man. They're beautiful.
Even
especially the last one, the one that says bios that you see on the screen right there. That was going to be the cover for the 4th issue, and that's probably one of my favorite images in the whole book.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Tim, I mean, listen, you're a big basketball fan. You're a big team player, it looks like. And you believe in the team. And you believe if I can't do this, I'm not going to be able to do this myself. I got to surround myself with people who can. And
Yeah, I mean,
this is the result.
The story isn't about me doing a thing myself. This, the goal is make the best thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Winning
Yeah.
is the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys that are better than me that can do it all by themselves, and that's great. Knock yourself out, but I am aware of my strengths and weaknesses, and I like to think one of my strengths is I'm a pretty easy guy to work with.
Good.
Well, I think your approach, basically, it goes back to your passion. You want the best for your project,
Right.
and being able to say, you know what, I'm removing myself from the artistic responsibility of this because I am just not capable of giving me what this project needs. I think that's a sign of maturity and someone who really loves what they do and really wants to grow something. And you can see it, by the end product. I mean, the decisions that you made were you're just spot on every step of the way.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I do, because that was always the goal, get the best product out there.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the screen, and I want you to talk to the people, and I want you to give them the pitch, give them that elevator pitch, why the Republic, and where can they find you, your social handles and all that other stuff.
Great. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for letting me on here. I really appreciate getting a chance to talk to people and talk about the book, because like I said, it's something that I feel strongly about. I spent the last 3 years of my life making it, so obviously I'm invested in it. If you love a big epic story that still has emotion and feelings to it, I think you'll dig this. It's not just an apocalyptic story. Anything can be post-apocalyptic, but you have to have that heart and that foundation to make it a story that you're interested in reading and putting your money down to get. And, which is also why I try to make it as accessible and as affordable as I can to people, because I want, everyone to check it out, because I really believe in the story. So best way to do that, you can go to Kickstarter and you can search either my name, Tim Watts, or The Republic. Both of those should work. You can also go to therepublicnovel.com, and that will redirect to the campaign page. And there's still a lot of great rewards left. The top tier ones, like as I said, we've gone through all those, but there is another tier below that has a lot of cool stuff in it, including you get your name as, in a larger font on the backer page. So, and there's some cool add-ons and things like that. But if nothing else, go over there and watch that, Kevin Smith video again and check out the trailer. It's a cool thing that I'm very proud of. So I hope everybody goes and checks it out. And I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
it'd be fantastic. I mean, you did a great job. It's no wonder why you were funded in 2 days. And, right now you have, 12 days to go. You got 68 backers. The sky's the limit. Based on where you're trending, you're on fire. And your first outing, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to read it, Tim.
I'm looking forward to it. I think you'll dig it. I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I agree.
And we definitely have to have you back and just do a deep dive into Tim Watts.
That's
right.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Absolutely.
what's Tim about? Right.
Yes.
We'll talk about Fox.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, Tim, we'll talk about Fox and the Sacramento Kings, and we'll do a little bit of everything.
Killing me, man. Wait, before we go, I got to ask you, George.
Yes.
Who's your team? Are you going to break my heart?
The Knicks. Yes. I do like
the Knicks.
Yes.
Oh, you know what suffering's like then.
Oh, I know. Oh, I listen since the 90s. I know what that's like.
For me, I always tell people my two favorite basketball teams are the Kings and anyone playing the Lakers.
Oh, I hate the Lakers. When LeBron went there, when LeBron went there, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, yep, I'm done with this team. It's over for this guy. I can't stand LeBron. But we'll talk some other time. We'll talk some other time, Tim. Right. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We really
I gotta put a no sports clause on this show. Yes, but thank you for being on the show. Congratulations again on a successful launch, and good luck to everything you're doing.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Take care, man.
So that was Tim Watts. Again, The Republic. It is on Kickstarter. The link is in the chat. It's also in the show notes.
Yes.
So check it out. Recommend it to a friend. I'm sure people who are into post-apocalyptic sagas. This I mean, just beautifully done. So you guys want to check that out.
It was.
You know,
and even listen, and if you can't pledge to it right now, share it.
Share
it with other people.
Sharing is caring.
Exactly. If you can't if you can't pledge to it, that's fine. But share it so that other people know, and they may want to check it out. And definitely listen. Definitely hit the play button. Check out that endorsement by Kevin Smith, because this is hysterical.
That was crazy.
The
sad thing is, I've lived in Jersey for 20 years, and I never went to the location. Knucklehead. There's a lot of things I didn't do. I don't understand.
That's what happens when you live in a state, though. You never
take it for granted.
Yeah, you never enjoy anything in that state. You know what I mean?
What the hell?
You don't. You really don't.
Is I always went to the city for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I went to New York. I was like, I was like, come on. Anyway. But so I do want to say thank you to Johnny and Michael Sammartino and Aurelis and Nita Lanning, everybody for joining us tonight.
Yes.
We will be on again in 10 minutes. We are going to have Patrick Murphy, a returning guest, talking about Echoes of the Triumphant, which is on Kickstarter right now as well, and he also made his goal. So we have 2 successful campaigns in one night. So we're going to be talking to him. And again, I do want to remind everybody, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, George and I, Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew. We will be deep diving into why it's more important now than any other time to make sure before you make an order that you get a physical, not a digital print of your book. I am a prime example of why I don't trust digital.
And you get to, talk to us live tomorrow, because we are going to be putting the link on the chat, so you can come in and talk for 30 seconds. Keep it clean. But we will be doing that tomorrow morning as well. And if you haven't yet, make sure you get notified. There's the
Candyman again.
Yes. Get notified of the adventures of Wonderduck. All right.
Yes. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. Share it, like it, recommend Catch the Craze to a friend. If you're listening to us on any of the streaming platforms, give us a 5-star rating. Put some comments, whether it's on Google Play or Amazon or Spotify or Pandora, wherever you listen to Catch the Craze on. Give us a rating, and we do appreciate every single one of you. But if you need the links to the show, it's on podbean.com / actually catchthecraze.podbean.com and or on the YouTube channel. But again, another great show. Anything from you, George?
Nothing. Just hit the notify me button. That's all.
All right. I am Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are.
It's just easy. It does not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name. Right? This is what you were thinking? Oh, he described me. He said, I'm the
You're Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. On Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.